we got to talk about President Obama because
Yes.
I'm really into this. So it's his last birthday at the White House, right? 55 years old. So he celebrates with a bunch of celebrities, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
a lot of guys.
Count them down here.
Will Ferrell, Tyler Perry, Magic Johnson, Cookie, Samuel L. Jackson, Ellen DeGeneres, Portia de Rossi, Gayle King, Common, Chris Paul, Timbaland, Pusha T, and Sarah Jessica Parker. All of those people are at the White House celebrating with Obama. Harvey, what is wrong with this? It seems like
I didn't say anything's wrong with it, but he's into Hollywood.
Well, he's there. Why? I don't know why you do it that way. Why aren't they into him?
Oh,
maybe this is this is a president.
No, they are totally into him.
Right, so maybe there hasn't been a president before that's attracted sort of the allure of celebrity like this guy. Maybe he's got something extra to him.
Do you think it's like them saying, okay, I will honor and grace your party? He invites them.
I get it, but like, I think there's a little bit more swag to the president now, and they want to be caught up in his aura. You think he's a star thinger, is what you're trying to say.
No. Okay, I just think he's going into the entertainment business when this is over. And I mean, I'm just feeling like he gravitates to that.
So you feel like in these situations that maybe he's trying to like sort of build some bridges with these people to kind of like parlay that into a different sort of thing?
I think President Obama is so deep into pop culture.
Right.
In a good way. I mean, I think he knows, because you know what? I think that he's a president who's in touch with America in the sense of understanding what goes on with young people.
Sure.
He understands more than just politics. And I think he's so steeped in pop culture, which I really do believe is a good thing. He knows so much about it. And when you just watch him, you dance before he gives his speech at the convention. I mean, he is that guy. And I really think the more I look, that he likes pop culture so much, I think he's going to become part of it when he gets out of the White House. Right. What is he going to do? He's not going to go back and teach law school.
That's not going to happen. But as far as the one thing you did say, him running a studio, I think that's the one thing we can definitely count out.
I don't understand why you think this is so crazy.
How would Obama, like Obama's just gonna be the head of Sony, like tomorrow, that's just gonna happen. Like I don't think that that's a thing. I think that there's a lot of things he could do. By the way, shout out to Pusha T for getting an invite to the White House. That's a big deal for Pusha. But I think there's a lot of things that he could do, and he's already hinted that he might want to own an NBA team or something like that, but I just don't see running a studio as being one of those things.
But a studio puts you in the middle of the zeitgeist of Hollywood. And it's like, what?
Isn't there a skill set, though? Don't you have to know how to do something?
You know what you need to know?
What?
You need to have good people around you. You need to have a good eye. You need to attract stars. You need to be really smart and strategic. You need to be able to be a quick study, which he is.
Right, very true.
I mean, well, it's like, at a point, yeah. And it's a global thing now, being head of a studio.
Absolutely.
Well, he's the biggest global guy on the globe. So there you go.
Hi, I am Franz from Bridgeport, Connecticut. And yeah, that must have been one heck of a party. I mean, he had a gumbo of different artists, different celebrities and whatnot. And I did only see Sarah Jessica Parker bring a gift, and that was the only person that brought a gift. I mean, then again, what did he bring?
Ellen brought Portia.
Oh, did she? Oh,
yep.
Yeah, she is a gift. She is some eye candy.
And Magic brought Cookie.
No, he's talking about the gift. He's not talking about their spouse.
I thought you said.
By the way, when you just said that Ellen brought Portia, I was like, oh, you like Portia like that?
I thought you said guest.
No, not guest. He said gift.
But she didn't. She also said that it was easy to shop for him. What the hell would you get Obama?
I have no clue.
What the hell do you get Obama?
I don't know.
You get him the mantle for the studio.
Oh, get out.
You get him a pen that he can put in the desk for the studio.